All right, so this is a suggestion via a channel member. Let's jump into it.
Busy holiday travel season, as you know, alongside getting gifts from your family. And something that the Trump administration has been laser focused on when it comes to roads, something that impacts everybody, is cracking down on illegal immigrants who receive commercial driver's license.
I'm gonna be honest, this guy's hairline looks fake. I'm sorry to completely move away from the point right now, but it's very distracting, guys. It looks like it's been painted on. I'm gonna be honest here. Not to be too disrespectful, but it just looks crazy.
And then wind up driving these big rigs and tractor trailers when they can't even speak English or read road signs. There have been a series of accidents and fatal crashes that have taken place across the country as a result of this. And Transportation Secretary Shawn Duffy has been spearheading the issue of getting these driver's licenses to be revoked and making our roads safer, and has threatened to withhold federal funding from several states because of this. California has actually responded to Secretary Duffy's request and said, okay, we are going to revoke 21,000 driver's license from migrants who have received them.
Okay, so this is going on in California.
It turns out that this group of migrants are suing the state as a result.
Right. So they've, in California alone, more than 17,000 have been yanked. Another 24,000 are under review right now. In these truckers, these immigrant truckers, many of them illegal immigrants, are suing. Here's a little bit of what the lawsuit says.
Like the fact that you are an illegal immigrant specifically, and you have the audacity to sue the federal government or anything United States of America oriented, that is wild. And I can only imagine that can only probably happen in California.
Judges that on November 6th, the California DMV notified 17,299 immigrant drivers and business owners that their non-domiciled CDLs, that's commercial driver's licenses, would be canceled on January 5th, 2026. That's just days from now due to an error with the expiration date of the licenses. A similar letter was sent to an additional 2,700 drivers in December, informing them that their licenses would be canceled in mid-February. For all nearly 20,000 immigrants, the DMV intends to cancel their commercial licenses without any affording opportunity to obtain a corrected license or to contest the cancellation, the lawsuit reads. But let's remember the deadly results of allowing illegal immigrants not only to cross the border and be released into the country, but then to give them work authorization and commercial driver's licenses to operate 18-ton trucks, 18-wheelers on our roads. Here's a list we can show you going all the way back to this summer in Florida. The illegal immigrant trucker killed 3 attempting to make that illegal U-turn, and back in October, another killed in a truck driving incident. In California, they've seen a number of incidences, to include in Ontario, where 3 were killed. And just last month, you had in Oregon another horrific incident that killed 2 after a truck jackknife. And then just weeks ago in Tennessee, a Chinese national kills one by causing a deadly multi-vehicle pileup. In Washington State, you had an illegal immigrant trucker failed to decelerate and killed 1. And you know what's crazy is in those last 2 incidences, the Chinese illegal truck driver and the Indian illegal truck driver, those crossed in 2023 in Lukeville, Arizona, where I saw the immigrants coming across, these middle-aged men from all over the world. And in California, the Chinese individual crossed in San Diego, because I checked, I looked back at their alien files through my sources at Border Patrol, and you look back at the chaos that the border was, and you realized this is likely going to be a consequence, and yet the previous administration just let it run wild. That's why Secretary Duffy now, to your point, Carly, is leaning in. Here's a little bit of what he said.
These are simple rules. These rules are not made up by the Trump administration. I didn't make them up. These are rules that are set up to make sure our roads are safe. And so if you can't speak English, if you haven't gone through the proper training courses, you shouldn't be behind the wheel of a big rig. You had Joe Biden that let tens of millions of people into the country, and then you have liberal governors who said, well, they got to work, so let's give them commercial driver's licenses and put them on the American roads, endangering the safety of the American people. So I can't go in across the states and do these checks. I have to rely on the state's law enforcement to help me out. But what I can do, Brian, is I can pull their money. That's the leverage that I do have. I guarantee you that the federal taxpayer is not going to fund their roads and bridges and their systems when they're putting illegals on the roads and endangering the lives of the American people.
I mean, listen, that's valid. Like that seems super logical. Listen, all of our road signs are in English. If you have no ability to really speak English or even be able to read it and fully comprehend what it actually is, and all of our like American road signs, then yeah, that's a problem here. How did they get their license in the first place here? But now here, hear me out here. But if they do have the ability to do all these things, I'm not sure what the actual problem is, other than the fact that obviously they're most likely being hired by some company who is trying to undercut American jobs. That could be a super valid thing here. Um, but other than that, yeah, if you can't speak English specifically, I don't think that you should be driving these gigantic vehicles on the road. If you have no idea how to deal with, American roadways, etc., then, that sounds like a problem and you should not be driving this gigantic monstrosity on the highway, guys.
What you saw right there is a picture of righteous indignation. I mean, Shawn Duffy's pretty even-keeled. He's upset, and rightly so, because you're not just putting American lives at risk. You have been irresponsible. If your state's doling out CDLs to just anybody, they can't read the signs, they can't speak the language. California and New York, and I think those are probably leading the way here, and I'm thankful, not just for us as Americans, but for the people who are out there on the roads. Whether you're American or not, you deserve safety. And these people have to be properly trained. And if they are not, they should not be behind the wheel of an 80,000-pound rig. I mean, this is outrageous. And so thankfully, they're finally making some strong decisions. And
Jeez, what is that?
By eliminating the funding, it will finally compel these states to do the right thing and get these dangers off the road.
And not
okay, bro, stop showing me this.
Truck
I don't want to see
driver
this.
who's getting their license revoked in California is here illegally.
Yeah.
But the number one point of the government on a state level, federal, local, is always
Safety.
to keep Americans safe.
Yep.
And if there are people who are receiving licenses who are in this country and they don't speak English and they don't read road signs and they're getting these work authorizations that allow them to operate these massive big rigs, and we've seen the footage of a result of what happens. Crazy. It's frightening.
Yeah.
And it's a very good thing that something is changing.
You know what hasn't changed is
Feels valid.
Democrats and many in the mainstream media simply making the case that what President Trump and this administration has done to crack down and secure our border from dangers just like this, that it's somehow mean-spirited and cruel to say if you cross the border illegally, then that's okay. You didn't do anything wrong. You should just be allowed to stay, despite the fact that we have laws on our books that Congress passed, Title 8, Code US 1325. If you cross the border illegally, you've committed a crime. Do it a second time, it's a felony. But yet here's the AP talking about a Venezuela's family's Christmas, saying from the American dream to poverty. And they're leaning into
Bro, listen, the American dream, what did the great George Carlin say about this, guys? Okay, if you guys recall this vividly here, he stated, if you believe in the American dream, then you're probably sleeping. If that makes any sense here, guys. Unfortunately, the average American will never achieve the American dream. All right, let's just sit here and be honest here. So why are we expecting immediately for someone that has broken into our country, that has come from a very foreign land, let's say, than ours, different culture, different ideologies, different everything, right? That has broken into our country. You're expecting them to now achieve more than the average American will achieve immediately? Guys, listen, that's craziness. The average American will never achieve the American dream.
Sympathy of migrants, saying this was not the Christmas that Mariela Gomez would have imagined a year ago, or the one that thousands of other Venezuelan immigrants would have thought. But Donald Trump returned to the White House in January and quickly ended their American dream. Her two sons and her partner returned to the city of Maracay on October 27th after crossing the U.S.-Mexican border to Texas, where they were quickly swept up by the Border Patrol amid the Trump administration's crackdown on immigration. They were deported to Mexico, from where they began the dangerous journey back to Venezuela.
Okay, okay. Listen, adults making decisions to break into another country. Okay. Understand this here. They made the decision to do that. I guess they were hoping that our border was going to be wide open here indefinitely. And it's just like, bro, what am I supposed to feel about that, bro? You broke into our country. That's it. That's it. Like, that's all I see. I care about the legality of things almost exclusively here, guys. When it comes down to that, what am I supposed to say? You left your country for the United States of America in a very illegal manner by crossing through our borders, and you're shocked and appalled that you were removed? Bro, stop playing. Stop playing right now. I don't want to see this anymore. Stop playing. Okay, guys, hold on. That is craziness. That is just crazy to hear from me personally, bro. Like, I feel bad for their situation, their plight, et cetera, but it does not mean that I want to, like, that we need to take the world's population of people that are struggling financially, guys. All right. Like, where was their government persecuting them for who they are, what they believed, any of these things? Because if that's not the case, then I'm not sure economic migrancy is the reason why I need to specifically partake in your plight. I'm sorry, that's not a thing. Again, I have no problem with the idea of a refugee, but the refugee is generally coming from a place where their government is legitimately persecuting them. Okay, like you're going to qualify for asylum, not economic migrancy. I say this all the time, bro. I mean that. Guys, do you want to watch movies with me? I never actually thought to like promote it over here, guys. But if you guys do want to watch it, guys, we have hundreds of movies, and I mean hundreds of movies that we've reacted to. You guys can come watch them with me if you want to, along with many TV shows. Currently, we're working on the show Dexter, along with Vikings, and we have a lot of series that are already completed. But if you guys do want to watch it with me, the link is in the description. Everything's available at the second tier. But of course, if that's not your thing, guys, don't worry. Right? Listen, like and subscribe.